So let's test you on the different brain parts. This is Dr. Rodriguez, Chapter 3, looking at the different brain parts. Okay, so number 1, on a piece of paper, write down number 1. Was the medulla do? Was the medulla? Number 2, reticular formation. What's going on there? What is that responsible for? Number 3, cerebellum. Number 4, pons. Number 5, amygdala. Number 6, hippocampus. Number 7, hypothalamus. Number 8, thalamus. Number 9, the cortex. And number 10, corpus callosum. If you need to, take a second, push pause, and see if you can fill in what each of those do. Okay, how did you do on that list? Did you draw some blanks? What if I give you some pictures to help you try to remember it? Number 1, medulla. Remember I said something about metals? And those metals are sitting on top of what? They're sitting on top of, do you remember? Those metals are sitting on top of the heart and the lungs. And that's what the medulla is responsible for. It's our heartbeat, our breathing. How about number 2, reticular formation? Did you have that before? If not, what if I show you this picture of soldiers standing at formation? What should that make you think of? It should make you think about how the reticular formation plays a role in attention and arousal. How about the cerebellum? If I show you the picture of the bell on this guy's head, what was the cerebellum responsible for? The bell. The cerebellum was about the balance, right? The bell is balancing on his head, balance and coordination. Number 4, how about pons? Did you remember what the pons was about? Think about it. Here's a pond. You're laying beside the pond. Maybe you're reading a book. You're relaxing, and you what? You fall asleep. The pons is responsible for sleep, for making sure that your brain is still functioning while you're sleeping and is safe. How about number 5, the amygdala? So when I say amygdala, you should see Amy. And there's that picture of Amy. What did I say about Amy and the amygdala? Amy. Remember? It's about fear and emotion. The amygdala is about fear and emotion, huh? How about number 6, the hippocampus? And then I show you the picture of the hippo. And do you remember what I said? I said the hippo can't get around the campus without his hippocampus. So that should make you think about memories, forming new memories and learning. The hippocampus is about memory and learning. So the hippocampus cannot get around campus without his hippocampus. How about 7, hypothalamus? So here's a picture to go along with it. There are some llamas. You have a hypodermic needle. What are you going to do with that hypodermic needle? Maybe fill it up with some water because you're thirsty. Fill it up with maybe some cold water so that you can cool down these llamas by spraying them with this hypodermic needle. Maybe you're going to fill it up with food and force it into their mouth and make them eat it because they're hungry. Or maybe you're going to take the hypodermic needle and actually impregnate these llamas. Oh my goodness. All right, horrible pictures, but the hypothalamus and all that hypodermic, stuff should make you think about that. Should make you think about how it's responsible for thirst and hunger and temperature and sexual desire, the impregnating, right? Hypothalamus. How about number 8? Thalamus. You should think of Hal and Amos, these two police officers, and what are they doing? The thalamus is responsible for what? Hal and Amos are police officers that are what? Directing traffic within the brain, directing signals that are coming in and directing them to the part of the brain that needs to respond to them. Thalamus is directing traffic and signals. How about the cortex, the cerebral cortex? What is that one about? So here's the picture. So cortex, Texas cowboy hat, maybe has this formula on the top. And the cortex, Texas hat, what was that about? Oh, if I'm wearing a hat, it's going to sit on that top part of my brain, that very outer part. And that's what that cortex is. It's that wrinkly part of our brain that is responsible for higher thinking, higher order thinking, complex thinking, and it's the upmost top part of our brain. And then number 10, how about the corsum callosum? The corpus callosum. What is that about? Did you remember? So what if I give you this picture of a telephone? Corpus callosum. Oh, do you remember me saying something about call someone? Call someone? So the corpus callosum, what that does is it connects the two cerebral cortexes. Remember, you have two hemispheres or two halves of the cortex, one on each side, and the corpus callosum connects these two cortexes as if it's a telephone, allowing them to be able to communicate with each other. So were you able to get many of these? What about when I gave you the pictures? Did that help a bit?